Hi, my name is Javier Castro. I am a Spanish teacher in Delhi, and I'm gonna give a presentation about the Ganges River in India. The reason is because every year we travel with the students to this river to do rafting, and we want our students to know more about it. So I have divided this presentation in 4 sections: geography, culture and religion, biodiversity and ecosystems, and challenges and conservation. However, about 90% of this presentation is related with geography. First, I asked the students, which is the longest river in the world? And I give them 4 options. First, Mississippi River in North America. Second, Amazon River in South America. Third, Yangtze River in Asia, in China. And the last one, Nile in Africa. So they need to indicate if they think it is one or it is the others. In this image, before I pass the page, you can see Amazon River Basin. Here it says Nile River Basin. Here it's talking about Mississippi watershed. I'm going to talk about that later. Those are important concepts. So the answer is that the Nile River, with 6,650 kilometers, it is the longest river in the world. How do we connect this with our Ganga River? Ganga, I refer Ganga, this is how we call in India to the Ganges River. So I'm going to refer to it as Ganga. Is Ganga River in the top 10 of the longest rivers in the world? Yes, thumb up. No, thumb down. The answer is no. It is the number 35 in the standing of longest rivers in the world, and it has a longitude of 2,704 kilometers. Now, I'm going to mention in this presentation 6 key places related with Ganga River. And the first one is the source of the Ganga, where the Ganga River starts. And it starts in the Gangotri glaciar in central Himalayas. So this is an image of the glacier. This image is taken from the website of a hiking company in India called India Hikes. That is fantastic. And you can see in the corner, upper corner on the right, a mountain. This mountain is called Mount Sibling. And Sibling comes from 2 words: Shiva, one of the gods, and Lingam. Lingam is a representation of that god. So Shiva Lingam is Mount Sibling. It is beautiful. It looks like a little bit, to me, it's very different, but it looks like a little bit like Matterhorn or Cervino. That, for people who don't know, it is the image of the chocolate Toblerone. So India Hikes that I mentioned, this company, it is fantastic. I have been 4 times with them doing different hikes. Some of them were very short. Some of them were for more than 1 week. And one of the hikes that they organize is to the source of the river Ganga. It is a trek that it lasts 5 days walking. Here it says 8 days, but I'm going to explain it why. It is 5 walking and it says 8 days. It goes to an altitude of 4,329 meters, and you can do it starting at 12 years old. So my students could do it. However, it is moderate difficult, especially because you are in high altitude, 4,329 meters. So first, I want students to know where is Gangotri related to where we are. We are in New Delhi, and we are going to take the train to Haridwar, and from there, we are going to take the bus to Rishikesh. That's where we are going to do rafting. However, if you want to go to the source of Gangotri, you have to take a car to Gangotri town, and that is the last point where you can drive, because after that, you can see that this is high mountains. So after that, here it starts the hike. And this hike, in the program, it says 8 days. The first one, you are going to drive from Dehradun to Gangotri. Dehradun is very close to Rishikesh. And after that is when you start the hike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days hiking, plus 1 day back by car. So it is 7. The reason, because in the program it says 7 days, it says 8 days, is because always in these kind of hikes, they keep a buffer day in case the weather is not good, in case maybe you are going to cross a bridge and the water took out the bridge. So always you need to consider that. So in case anybody wants to go to the source of Ganga River, it is possible. We are not going to do that in that trip, but you could do this hike and you will pass by Gangotri Glaciar and continue to this Camp 3, where you have beautiful views of Mount Sibley. Another mountain that I want to mention, because I saw it in this map, is Gangotri Glacier, where Ganga River starts. Another mountain is Nanda Devi. The reason because I want to mention this mountain is because I read a very interesting book, The Great Arc, the dramatic tale of how India was mapped and Everest was named. So in this book, it says that when in 1820, the Himalayas were at last acknowledged to be loftier than the Andes, the peak of Nanda Devi, known as A2 and measured at 7,766 meters, was thought the highest in the world. It retained this distinction for 25 years. That means that until 1845, until 1845, in the world, it is believed that Nanda Devi, that mountain that we see here, it was the tallest in the world. Now, it is Everest, and this mountain is the second in India. The tallest one in India will be Kanchenjunga, even though it could be some controversy because Kanchenjunga, the summit, it is in Nepal, and it is one of the 8,000 meters mountains in the world. However, you have the base camp, you have two. One is in Nepal, one is in India. So it is considered also an Indian mountain. So Kanchenjunga will be the tallest, and Nanda Devi, it is the second. So here they say on how Everest was named. This book is about how they map India. And they started in the south of India. And through trigonometry, you can see a lot of triangles here. They start going up, up, and to the sides. And they were mapping India and calculating the altitude of different terrains. It was done with towers and with different posts. And through trigonometry, they were able to calculate. This is a photo that I took one time that I took a short hike. This was only a weekend hike. I went to Mussoorie and I climbed a mountain called Nag Tiba. Nag, it means serpent or snake. Tiba means mountain. And from there, in the sunrise, I could see Nanda Devi. So this is a photo that I took and I was very excited to see this mountain. So when we are talking about Everest, the tallest mountain in the world, it is very interesting because George Everest never saw Everest mountain. He was mapping India, going all the way here till Mussoorie. He had a house there. And after that, he moved back to England and the expedition continued. It lasted for many, many years. And finally, they went through this area, measuring the Himalayas. And when finally they discovered that Mount Everest was the tallest in the world, the successor of Mount Everest organizing this expedition, in honor of Everest, he said, okay, we are going to call this mountain Mount Everest. However, Sir George Everest never saw this mountain. And in fact, he was against naming Everest because they were local names. For instance, in Tibet, they call it Cholomongo. So he said we need to go with the local names. However, that didn't happen. So this is related with the source of the Ganga River. We said that it started in Gangotri Glacier. However, if I look at Gangotri Glacier, you can see that the river that comes here, it is not called Ganga River. It is called Bhagirathi River. So is it the Ganga? Is it not? We are going to see that here in the next slides. The next point, the second point that I would like to talk about is Devprayav. So this is the point with Bhagirathi meets Alaknanda River and becomes the Ganga River. So we were talking about Gangotri Glacier. It is here. And from there, it starts Bhagirathi River. Then there is another glacier here and another river flows that is called Alaknanda. There is a point that is called Devprayav, and this is where these two rivers meet, is when we consider that the Ganga River starts. So with our students, we are going to depart from Delhi. We are going to go to Haridwar station by train, and after that, we take a bus to Rishikesh. The following day, we are going to take the bus, and we are going to start rafting in Devprayav. This is the point, Devprayav, where Bhagirathi River, it is this one, the one that looks like stronger, meets Alaknanda. It is the one more calm. Devprayav literally means holy confluence, and it is the place where two revered India's river, Alaknanda and Bhagirathi, meet to form the holy Ganga. It is a very holy place. If I go to Google Maps, this is where Devprayav is. Here is Bhagirathi River. Here it meets with Alaknanda. In our case, we are going to start the rafting right here. We don't start here because it's a very holy place. And also logistics, it takes time to go there. Here we are going to cross this bridge and we are going to start our rafting right there. So these are photos that I took last year from this bridge pointing Devprayav. Devprayav is here, and this is where the Bhagirathi meets the Alaknanda River. So you can see here a ghat, holy place, people go there. So this is the exact point where we are going to start, and it is called Ramkund Ghat. Ghat is a place with stairs that usually goes to the river. And here are pictures from last year, our principal, Miss Anthea. The boats, the rafts are ready. And we start our rafting. These are images that I took last year with my GoPro. So these are the rapids, pretty fun. Here you can see this student, he has henna in the arm. So this is something, here in India they call it mehendi. It is something fun always to do in India. Splashing, this is something that we encourage them not to do because there is people who doesn't want to get wet. And if they want to get wet, they can always jump. And it is a lot of fun being swimming in the Ganga River. We also organize something that is called the Beach Olympics, games, a lot of fun. And we also do zip line over the Ganga River. So this is another photo that I took last year doing ziplining, crossing from one bank of the river to the other, back and forth. And also another thing that we are going to do is hiking, and again, always next to the Ganga River. That's why we are learning more about this river. We cross this bridge and we start gaining some altitude, but we are going to have often the Ganga as a reference. You can see more people doing rafting while we hike. So we are going to start our hike there, and we say that by train we go to Haridwar, and by bus we go to Rishikesh. These are very holy places in India, and they are here, Rishikesh, and after that it is Haridwar. This is an image of Rishikesh, this is Lakshmanjula Bridge, and this is Haridwar Har Ki Pauri. Every night there are ceremonies, every night and every morning there are ceremonies in the Ganga that they are called Ganga Arti. Arti means ceremony. It can be very informal. This is a photo that I took in Ganga River in Rishikesh, or it could be more formal. For instance, this one is another photo that I took in Haridwar. In Haridwar, in this place that is called Har Ki Pauri, every evening that you go of the year, it is going to be crowded of people doing the ceremony and getting into the water. It's going to look like this. So it is not because it was a special event. There are special events, but every time that I have been, it has been like this. So a very interesting place to visit in India. So holy places that we are going to see. Well, we are not going to see. We are going to pass by on a rafting trip. Now, these places that I'm going to mention now, we are not going to see them. They are far away from where we are. But still, I want to mention how important they are related with the Ganga River. So now we are going to talk about a city that is called Prayagraj or Allahabad. And next to this city, there is a place that is called Sangam. Now everybody knows this place. It is the Taj Mahal. What I want students at this point is to tell me what is the name of this river. This photo was taken in July 2023 after the monsoon, and usually the river flows through this area. However, there was a big flooding and it went all the way to the wall. So the name of this river, it is Yamuna River. It is another holy river in India. And the interesting thing is that it also passed through Delhi. So here is the connection in between Ganga River and Yamuna River. That Yamuna River passed by Delhi. Ganga River is where we are going to do rafting, and both of them are going to meet in this place that I mentioned, that is Allahabad. Now, because it's for students, a presentation, I decided to put here a joke so they relax their minds a little bit. I asked ChatGPT, tell me a joke about Yamuna and Ganga rivers in India. Why did the Yamuna River invite the Ganga River to a comedy show? Because they heard it was going to be a really rolling good time, and they wanted to have a flow of laughter together. I know the reaction of the students is going to be like, but it is what it is. Great, another one. Certainly, here you go. Why did the Ganga River get an award for being the most popular river? Because it has the streaming numbers that made everyone float with admiration. Okay. Bien, so this is what I mentioned. The one that we can see in dark blue is the Yamuna River. It passes by Delhi, Mathura, Agra. And the one that we see in light blue, it is the Ganga River. Both of them meet in Allahabad, very holy place. It is far from where we are. Here it is in the map, halfway. Now, if I look at the lonely planet India, here is talking about Allahabad, and they say that Brahma, the Hindu god of creation, is believed to have landed on Earth in Allahabad or Prayag as it was originally known. So it is a very important place. And again, it is mentioning the confluence of the river. It is not only two rivers, but there is another river that goes under earth. It is a mythological stream called Saraswati. So they meet in that place, Sangam, that is in the outskirts of Allahabad, and because of that, it's a very holy place. I'm going to give you an example of how important it is, this place, Sangam in Allahabad, for Hindu people. This is a book that I love it. It is called Freedom at Midnight. It tells a lot about Mahatma Gandhi, about Jawaharlal Nehru, and here we have the last viceroy, Lord Mountbatten, and it is talking about the last days of the independence, before the independence of India. So in this book, they talk about Mahatma Gandhi, they talk about Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India. And talking about Gandhi, in these pages, they are talking about how his desire was that his ashes were put in the Ganga River in this point, in Sangam. So ashes immersion of Mahatma Gandhi near Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh, India, in February 12, 1948. So there is a long paragraph. So what he's saying is that they cremated Mahatma Gandhi in Delhi. You can go to visit the place. There is a fire that stays always on. And the 12th day, he went to Allahabad by train. And that journey of 615 kilometers. And it was in a train of only third-class carriages. So they arrived, and after that, many people got together, and they put the ashes of Gandhi there. So it is very important place for Gandhi to decide, I want my ashes to be in that point. You can imagine how holy it is, this place. We talk about Jawaharlal Nehru, very important, and students in my school may know who he is, or at least the name, because there is a park 1 kilometer away, 1 kilometer far from here, that it is called Nehru Park. So the Prime Minister, the first Prime Minister of India, very important in the independence of India. And the person that we have on the left is his daughter, Indira Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi and Indira Gandhi, they don't have any relationship. The Gandhi is just a family name. They could have been González or they could have been Rodriguez. So students may know Indira Gandhi because it is the name of the airport in Delhi, at least because of that. So when they land here, they know who Indira Gandhi is. So to make some relationship of how important Indira Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru are, I want to show you this image of the Indian Super League. This is the Premier League, or the Premier League of football in India. There are only 12 teams, and if I look at the stadiums, out of 12 teams, out of 12 stadiums, 4 of them they have the name of Jawaharlal Nehru, and one of them Indira Gandhi. So almost half of the stadiums in India have the name of this father and daughter. Talking about football, I'm going to do a little break here. We have one team who is playing first division, and it is playing in Delhi this year only because the team is Punjab Football Club. They are from Punjab. They are not from Delhi, but they are playing this year here. Last year they were in second division. They were the first, so this year they are playing in first division, and they are playing in the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Delhi. If you are interested, these are the next 3 local games. Bien. So why I am not talking about Nehru and Allahabad and Sangam? Because also Nehru, first, Nehru comes from this city, Allahabad. And second, when he died, he said, put my ashes in a plane and throw my ashes over the fields where the farmers are working. Okay? And after that, I want you to save some ashes, and they need to be put in Allahabad. So 2 of the most important people in the history of India, Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru, asked their ashes to be put in Allahabad. So, very important place. Okay, another important place that many people may be familiar with is Benares, Varanasi, Kashi, Banaras. It has many, many, many different names, and it is a very important city. It is one of the oldest cities that has been always inhabited. So we are here now, we pass Allahabad, and now we are in Varanasi or Benares. Some of you may be able to recognize these gods. In Hindu religion, they believe in Trimurti, that there are three main gods. And one of them is Brahma, that is the God who creates the universe. It appears with 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. Another one, it is Vishnu. Vishnu is the God who preserves the universe. And then we have Shiva, that usually appears with 4 arms and this trident, that this is the one who destroys the universe. So Hindu people, they believe in this. When we are connecting this with Varanasi, according to Hindu mythology, Varanasi was founded by Shiva, one of the 3 principal deities, along with Brahma and Vishnu. During a conflict between Brahma and Shiva, one of Brahma's 5 heads was torn off by Shiva. When Shiva came to the city of Varanasi, the hanging head of Brahma dropped from Shiva's hand and disappeared in the ground. Varanasi is therefore considered an extremely holy site. So looking again at the image, Brahma, in the image of Brahma now we see him with 4 heads. However, one of them was taken by Shiva and dropped it in the Ganga river at Benares, Varanasi, Kashi. I don't know if you have been in Varanasi, but one of the things that it is very interesting is to see the cremation places. You can see that on the bank of the holy Ganga river, they cremate a lot of bodies. You can see here the fires, and there is a reason for that. According to Hindu legend, those who are cremated in Varanasi will achieve enlightenment and be free of the cycle of death and rebirth. Nearly 300 bodies are cremated every day. So this is a concept that different religions have, not only Hindu, also Buddhism and Jainism. They believe in reincarnation. They believe in something that is called samsara, the wheel of birth, death, and rebirth. So you can see that this is a cycle. You die, and then you are going to reincarnate in another person or in another animal, etc. However, the idea is that we are energy, and every time that we get into a body, we are kind of trapped in that body. So they don't believe that reincarnation it is something good. It is part of a process. And what you need to be able is, at one point, to be able to separate your mind, your energy from any material jail, let's say. So if you are buried, if you are cremated in Varanasi, or they think that if you died in Varanasi, then you are going to break this cycle of reincarnations, and then you are going to pass to another state when the body will not be your prison. So it is a very interesting concept, and this is why Varanasi it is very important. The last key place that I would like to mention related with geography is the Ganga Delta. So this is India, this is the Bay of Bengal, and here we have Calcutta. This is where the Ganga River goes, and finally it's gonna end up here. The mouth of River Ganga forms the world's largest delta, known as Sundarbans, and was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1997. Okay, we have Calcutta here, and this is something that I got a little bit confused because I always knew that the Ganga River passed by Calcutta. I always also know that the Ganga River finished in the Bay of Bengal in Bangladesh. So I was like, how it can be in Calcutta, that is now India, and how it ended in Bangladesh. And the reason is that the Ganga River starts, and after that it becomes a delta, so it's going to be different branches. With this image, okay, here we have Calcutta. So this is one branch of the Ganga River, and the main one continues this way. This is the border with Bangladesh. So if I look at these aerial images, it is more clear. This is the Ganga River, very clear. This big one is Brahmaputra, another river that comes from China. And here it is Calcutta, but all this is the Ganga River. You can see it very clear how it dies in the Bay of Bengal. The mouth of River Ganga forms the world's largest delta. We mentioned that. One concept that I mentioned before when I saw the four rivers, Mississippi, Yangtze, Amazon, and Nile, it was basin. It says basin. And when we are talking about basin, when we are talking about the Ganga River basin, we are talking about this area. Before, in this image, when I talk about Brahmaputra, this is this river that comes from Tibet, from China, and they merge. So here, when we were looking at the Brahmaputra here, right? Okay, so when we are talking about the basin, we are talking about the area that is influenced by a river. And it doesn't have to be influenced because it is directly touching the river, but because the other rivers goes to the Ganga River. For instance, New Delhi, we are not next to the Ganga River. We are next to the Yamuna. However, because Yamuna merged with Ganga River, we consider that we are in the Ganga Basin. Why is this important? Because the Ganga Basin, with its fertile soil, is instrumental to the agriculture economy of India. The Ganga, with its tributaries, provides a perennial source of irrigation for crops. And this is what I wanted to mention. This great river supports a population of approximately 500 million people. 500 million people. We are going to see that number with other examples. Ganga is life itself, providing water for cooking, bathing, irrigating crops, and sustaining livelihoods. So if I want to make sense to that number, 500 million, I think that the population in Spain is less than 50. In our school, we publish in the website the annual report, and it says that we have 1,000 students, and we have more than 70 nationalities. And if we look at the percentage, 30% are from the US, 25% from South Korea, 7.5% from Israel, India 6.3%, Japan 4.7%, etc. So if I count the population of these countries, population of the US is 332 million, South Korea 52 million, Israel 9.5 million, Japan 125 million. Adding these numbers, it is a population of 518 million. So can you imagine a river that provides water and resources for the population of all these four countries? So that will be the Ganga River in India. So that is why it's very, very important, apart from the spiritual side, also because of the water it carries. The Indian population, it is 1 billion and a half people. The world population, 8 billion people. If we are talking in Spanish, we wouldn't say billion, we will say 1,500 millions or 8,000 million. Bien. Talking about culture and religion, the Ganga River is mentioned in old Hindu scriptures, and it is worshipped by the Hindus as and personified as a goddess. One of the things interesting also, when we were talking about Shiva, it is considered that the hair of Shiva is the Ganga River. When you see the statues, the hair that flows, it is representing the Ganga River. So Hindu people believe that bathing in the river causes forgiveness of sins and helps attain salvation. I heard that only if they are unintentional sins. I am not sure. Drinking the water of the Ganga is believed to purify the soul. However, be careful where you do that. Talking about biodiversity and ecosystems, we have endemic species in the Ganga River. One of them is the river dolphin, this one. The Ganga Basin supports numerous diverse ecosystems from the alpine forest near Gangotri to the plains of northern India to the mangrove forests and saline mud flats of West Bengal. So we pass through many different areas, mountains, the delta, etc. So there are many animals inside and around. For instance, the dolphin and, for instance, the Bengal tiger. Bien. So this is another kind of crocodile or alligator that is typical. I have seen teachers that have gone next to Agra and show me photos of these alligators or these kind of animals that they are typical from the Ganga River. Talking about challenges and conservation, if you have been to Benares, you will see that it is not in very good shape, the Ganga River, and it has a big problem with pollution. The ongoing pollution of the Ganga poses a significant threat to human health and the environment. The river, which is severely polluted with human waste and industrial contaminants, provides water to about 50% of India's population across 11 states, serving an estimated population of 500 million people, as we mentioned, more than any other river in the world. Today, the Ganga River is considered to be the 5th most polluted river in the world. We say that it is 2,700 kilometers, and 600 of them are considered ecologically dead zones, what is a disaster. So they are doing many efforts to try to solve this problem. And to end up this presentation, I asked ChatGPT, tell me a fun fact about pollution in Ganga River. And they told me an interesting fact, that is that in 2017, the government of India granted the Ganga River legal personhood, giving it the same legal rights as human beings. So this is something that they try to do so people or companies pollute less the Ganga River. So this is all about this beautiful river in India, very holy and very necessary for the life of 500 million people in India. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and have a great day.